So, I'm reviewing the second one. Right after I just released the first review. Whew. Gets a little hot in these clothes. So, whatever. Terrifier 2. Okay, so I've seen this film twice now in the theater. The first film was released straight to VOD and DVD for people who supported it on Indiegogo and that type of thing. And this movie was announced in 2018 after they did the first one. I think it was 2019 actually, whatever. They announced it, and in 2020 we got a trailer. And they said they were going to release it in 2021, but it got pushed back to 2022 because of COVID and some other complications and whatnot. They had some problems filming it, so a lot of stuff got in the way, but it's finally out. It's a 2-hour and 28-minute movie. And for a slasher film, that just does not happen. This isn't Lord of the Rings. This isn't Matrix. This isn't an Avengers movie. This is a slasher being 2 hours. The only thing that I can think of is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, which is, like, arguably the longest slasher up to this point. But, like, fuck, man, a 2-hour slasher film that's in theaters when the first one was on VOD? Hell yeah. So, okay, what's this film about? The first one, you know, story was forgetful, but was entertaining. Well, believe it or not, this film has a story. That's already a plus for me. So, the story is this girl named Sienna and her brother are basically, well, Sienna and her brother is more, it's a year later. Art the Clown is still out there. They never recovered his body. Since at the end of the first one, he shoots himself and he comes back. An evil demon girl brings him back, at least is what I think. And she brings him back, and basically they set out to kill this Sienna gal and her brother because there's speculation. It's not explained at all. It's very hinted at. The movie doesn't try to shove a convoluted story down your throat. It just gives you the stuff to work with for the film. And then it'll probably set it up in the third one, or it can leave you guessing, which I'm totally down and fine with. There's a lot of stuff in this film that's not explained, but I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. They're making a third one, so I'll wait and see what they do with that. And I already have some interesting theories because I gotta be honest, guys. This is one of my favorite films of this year. This was really fucking good. So, Art the Clown and this demon girl have to kill Sienna because it's basically told in her father's notebook or like art book or whatever that she's like a warrior or something. And this sword that she carries in this like drawing of her in this warrior costume, it's all speculated that she could kill Art the Clown. And Art and this girl are like setting out to kill them. And while they're also trying to, you know, avoid dying. So, you know. Okay. That's an interesting plot. First of all, I'm on board with it. I hope you're on board with that story. Because if you are, you're going to have a blast. This movie was a fucking blast. This movie is the first film and so much more. This film is a lot more gory. This film is a lot more funny. This movie's got better acting, despite one actress, and I'll get into that later. It's got better cinematography, a great score. Art the Clown shines through. This film is long, but it never felt boring for me. At least until the end. I'll get into that in my flaws. But anyways, this film is everything in the first one, but more, man. I really dug this film. It was really good. I saw it in the theater and I'm like, I'm seeing Terrifier 2 in the theater. This is epic. And right off the bat, if you're not on board with the intro, then you're not going to enjoy this film. But if you like watch it and you see the opening and you're like, okay, I'm down for that. Like the movie opens up with a kill. It opens up with a kill. and it's super graphic. The thing is, the first one was made with like $60,000. It was made under a $60,000 budget or something like that. This is a $200,000 budget, which is still low considering movies made nowadays. But oh my God, you wouldn't think that. The blood and gore and like kills are graphic. This is the most graphic. This is the most graphic film I have ever seen in a film as of recently, or like at all. This is so bloody and messy. Oh my God. The first kill is like, oh God, what am I in for? And as the film progresses and people just start dying left and right, it's like, oh my God. Like, you don't think that's a prosthetic head. You're like, that's him. That's him getting killed. It feels real. It feels violent. You feel the punches. You feel the blood spurting out. And it's very, very intense. And I gotta give a hand, like I gotta give a round of applause for the effort they went into putting into this film. It was worth it. Everything that was done for this film was worth it. The characters are so much better than the first one. I like the characters in the first one, but they're nothing to write home about. In this one, Sienna and her brother have a great brother and sister relationship. And I loved Sienna as a main protagonist. She is probably now my third favorite final girl of any horror franchise, next to Laurie Strode, Sidney Prescott, and her now. Sally is 4, and 5 is, what's her face from part 2? Friday the 13th part 2. Either way, it's like, wow. Such an upgrade, man. Such an improvement over the first one. We got this likable lead and likable character. Her friends are really likable. They're funny. This movie's funny. Art the Clown does some hilarious stuff. There's a scene where he's in a costume shop and he's wearing sunglasses and he keeps changing them. Me and my packed theater were laughing our asses off. It was funny. There were these 2 girls in the film that when kills would happen, they would scream. It was like, it was fun to be in the theater and to hear people react to this kind of film. It was fun. I had a blast in the theater. And as things like slowly progressed, I say slowly, but like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't slow or anything. It was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to know more. I want to know more. I was interested. The characters were likable. The soundtrack was and then possibly the most graphic scene I have seen in any film. Her friend, Sienna's friend, who's in a bedroom, Art the Clown breaks in her home and proceeds to stab her violently. You thought the hacksaw scene with the vagina was bad? This film makes that look like nothing. Looks like nothing. There's also another death in this film that is equally as violent. It's towards the end. It involves a bat with nails or something, whatever. It's like I don't know, it's like a chair stick or whatnot. There were some kills in this film that actually made me sick. And supposedly there were reports of people vomiting and fainting during this film, so viewer discretion is advised. This is not an R-rated film. This is easily an NC-17. I'm surprised the people at my theater didn't ask for my ID. I don't look 18. I look like I'm fucking 17, but whatever. This film is violent. So if you're not on board with violence or gore, don't watch this film. But if you're on board with that, you'll appreciate the gore effects and you'll appreciate the effort that was put into it. There's so much love and effort and care put into this film, and I just really dug it. The film has a lot of badass moments with Sienna and Art, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens with the lore, and I want to know more. And I did not mean for that to rhyme. It was just kind of came out that way. And there are so many callbacks to the first one that I loved, and it improves upon some mistakes that I had with some problems I had with the first one. They improved, and oh my God, so much better. I think the only problems that I have with this film, and they're nitpicks, but I don't think the actress who plays as the mother is very good. she overacted a few times, but her performance wasn't like enough to like ruin anything. Like you can make the argument that's what they're aiming for her to be like overreacting, but I don't know. I feel like she overacted just a tad bit. I'm sure she's been in some other good stuff, and God, when she died, it left me like speechless. That mashed potato scene, oh my God. I never would have thought I'd see that in a movie. Oh my God. I just realized, if this film is 2 hours long because it's the sequel, does that mean the third one's gonna be 3 hours long? Please no. I don't want a slasher that's 3 hours long. Please don't do that. I will say, even though that this movie was not boring at all, towards the end I was like, okay, I feel like you faked me out 1 or 2 times. Don't do it a third time. And they don't. And, you know, like, I was slowly towards the end saying, okay, is this gonna end? But when I watched it with my friend who absolutely adored this film just as much as I did, this is probably in his top 5 favorite films of all time. I know, seriously. Seriously. Top 5 favorite films of all time. Yeah, so when I saw this film for a second time, I wasn't bored because I knew what was coming. And to see his reaction to a lot of the stuff that happened, it was fun. This is a film I recommend. Like, if you have a friend who's into horror and you're into horror, watch this film. If you've already seen it, show your friend, because by God, seeing a reaction on their faces is priceless. This film is everything I could want and more. This is a really good sequel and a really good sequel to Terrifier 1. This is in my top 10 favorite films of this year. Everything from this film is really good. The soundtrack, the characters, the story, Art the Clown being awesome, the new characters that they introduced, the story, it's so good, and I want another one, and thankfully they're making a third one, thank God, and it's in theaters. It's A+. A+.